It's always cool in California, except right here. Powerful trucks on a speedy 10-turn track. Tons of dirt and plenty of excitement are in the air. If you think you've seen man and machine, well, you had better see this. Off-road racing. Here it's all about the air and the dare. Series bad boy CORR Center says if you've come to make friends, you're at the wrong race. It's heart-pounding and ground-pounding. Today, it's all about the checkers and the wreckers. NBC Sports presents Championship Off-Road Racing. We're in Lancaster, California at the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds, just over an hour northeast of Los Angeles. Hi everybody, Bill Weber along with Wally Dallenbach. Thanks for having us in for the race. Off-road racing in a stadium environment with the biggest stars in the sport. It's our 7th year of working together, and we've had a lot of fun over the years, but I don't think we've ever had more fun than this.
I haven't. I knew if I'd ever get to one of these events, I'd be hooked. I'm here, and I am. These trucks are exciting to drive, and this place is packed. The fans love this kind of racing, and we can't wait to show you why.
And this event begins a series of 7 very important races, all leading up to what has quickly become one of the biggest events in off-road racing, the Baldwin Cup. There will be 7 qualifying races, all leading up to a 20-truck winner-take-all event that you'll see on NBC in November. We'll have all the qualifying races for you. The top 8 drivers and points from the Pro 4 division and the Pro 2 division will qualify for wild card spots will be awarded the weekend of the Baldwin Cup. We'll tell you all about it in the coming weeks, but right now it's time to set the stage for today's Pro 4 race and meet some of the stars of the sport. Here's Kelly Stavist.
Well, Bill, in every motorsport, there's always one guy that everybody's watching. The Championship Off-Road Racing, that man is the 3-time champion, CORR Center. His every move is scrutinized, and he's got drivers talking. Marty Snyder tells us why CORR is showing up on everybody's radar.
Celebrate here on top of the hood, right?
They say it gets windy at the top. Just ask CORR Center, who always seems to find himself in a storm of controversy.
Come on, man. Come on. You planned it. I still like you.
Center is the only driver to have titles in Pro 2 and Pro 4. But in the process, Center has not made many friends.
They kind of describe him as the Dale Earnhardt of the series, the guy who everybody kind of wants to be and kind of get at.
The thing about CORR is he's such a nice guy. CORR on the track and CORR in the pits is 2 different people. He seems to like to rub a little bit more than I do. After watching the films of last year.
The wrong way, right?
Yeah, it definitely rubs me the wrong way.
He bumps and bangs on people, and I don't think he really realizes like what he does, but you give what you get. You know, sometimes the stuff he does, he gets what he deserves.
Center claims to be a clean driver, and that contact is just part of off-road racing.
I try and drive clean because it's selfish. I run the risk of hurting my truck as well as they do. But if you look at the nature of the sport, we're racing XYZ, and everybody's getting so good, the margin is just that much closer.
Even though they've banged a lot of doors over the years, his top Pro 4 rival, Johnny Greaves, says Center is a fair competitor.
Me and CORR have had our blows, but we still go out there and race each other clean.
At least some are willing to give him the respect that he's earned.
Any sport, I go after the top guy, and CORR's the top guy.
I respect him. As far as people having something against him, I don't.
In the end, for CORR Center, winning championships is more important than winning friends.
Back here now with CORR. Now, are you surprised to hear some of the comments from your competitors?
Well, not really. I mean, you know, I have won 3 championships in the last 3 years, 1 in Pro 4, 2 in Pro 2. And, you know, I remember when I first came into this sport and I met Scott Taylor, and he had a big run of championships. Nobody liked him. I don't even think I liked him, and I don't know why. I just think that, you know, I'm kind of over all that stuff and ready to go racing, and let's see what happens out on the track. I'm excited to be back out there and just start driving. You know, I'm not rough. I don't think I'm aggressive. I'll tell you that. But so is everybody else out here. Johnny's aggressive, but you know, everybody's aggressive.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, CORR. Good luck out there, Bill.
Thank you, Kelly. A new track to begin the new season. What's it like? Only way to find out. We sent Wally out to play in the dirt.
I can't tell you how much I've been looking forward to this. Let's take a lap around this place. Now, don't forget, I have no idea what I'm doing. Woo! I'll tell you, it's amazing how this truck takes the bump. Lock the rears up, hard on the gas. Airtime, baby. Now I know what Robbie Gordon's been talking about all these years. It's unbelievable I haven't
I'm done. Now I gotta have one.
Wasn't too much fun, was it?
I want one, Bill. I will be something before this thing is over. That was just too much fun.
And this track, as we saw with you, is pretty challenging.
Yeah, it really is. There's a lot of bumps. You come across the start-finish line. There's a pretty good jump. You go down into turn one, and turn one is really, really banked, but it has a wide bottom. So you can run either way through that corner. Then you shoot down. You got some more bumps. You got another big bank corner. So, I mean, this is one of those racetracks where you're doing a lot of downshifting. You're locking up the rear brake, get these things turned around. It's a challenging track, but they do a really nice job on keeping the track maintained. That's what I've been really impressed. They water the track, they get tractors out there, and they smooth it out. A lot of grip.
What can you expect to see in championship off-road racing? Well, this was earlier today in a preliminary event. Contact between two of the stars of the sport, up, over, and out of the track, and then the post-race meeting. Championship Off-Road Racing on NBC is brought to you by Lucas Oil, the world leader in automotive and high-performance lubricants. By Kumho Tires, driven beyond the experience. And by Monster Energy, unleash the beast. Here is the starting lineup, and it will be a standing start, Le Mans style, something relatively new to this series, should make for some exciting racing. On the pole, defending series champ Johnny Greaves. Next to him, off-road veteran Rick Huseman. In row 2, off-road superstar Scott Douglas. And in the 4th spot, Carl Redezener, who will be in the middle of the action all season. In row 3, the first of the Herbst machines, with Troy at the wheel next to Adrian Chetty. Travis Coyne makes his Pro 4 debut in row 4 next to Josh Baldwin. Row 5, it's the 1-2 Herbst combination, Tim in 9th, Ed in 10th. Steve Barlow qualified in the 13th spot, and the rest of the starting grid for today's race. Getting ready for the first event, setting the stage for the Baldwin Cup in November.
This is a Le Mans start, and they're experimenting with this, Bill, but I love this start. I think the fans are going to love it, and I hope it sticks. Waiting for the flagger. He throws it, and they're off. Oh, we got... Oh, what's that? That was Greaves.
Johnny Greaves did not take off with the green. On board with Greaves.
Wow.
Now deep back in the pack.
He's got his work cut out for him. Huseman out front, the 36 truck.
This is where the trucks come very close to the wall through turn 6. Then they work their way through a series of turns 7, 8, and 9 into the big sweeper just ahead of them, which is turn 10.
This should be Talladega corner right here. This is a cool corner. There's a lot of banking. There's a lot of grooves. It's flat on the bottom. So guys can take a lot of different lines through here. You can see how rough it is right there. There's a lot of bumps and jumps between that last corner and the start-finish line.
Huseman, then Redezener, followed by the 7 of Scott Douglas.
Douglas is in a backup truck. Wrecked his truck earlier.
He didn't just wreck it, he left the track with it.
He was in another zip code, and he runs 3rd.
Greaves crossed the line in the 9th spot after being on pole. See the fiberglass?
Yeah, the bodies are just for show, folks. they won't stay on long. Now, you see that the track is really dusty right now, but these guys, when they start running the same line, it'll clean the track off, and you'll start seeing a harder groove, what you call a blue groove.
That's the Monster Energy cam. Sorry about that, Wally.
And then it'll start really hooking up here. Lots of air right there going into turn 1.
Boy, Redezener really on it, isn't he?
Back it in there, on the gas hard. Couple more jumps here. And then again, you're not off the gas much in these trucks. I mean, you set them and you're on the throttle.
Really bumpy through here. Then a right-hander. That's Huseman in the 36 blue truck. Redezener trying to move on the inside. They're side by side heading for 6 and 7.
Redezener got a little sideways over that jump, and he lost just that little bit of time, just enough to lose a truck length on the leader. But he goes down on the inside. And here's what I'm talking about, 2 grooves right here. Side by side off the last corner. Look at this stuff. This is great. Side by side across the start-finish line.
Redesetter chasing the leader.
Huseman's got the advantage.
Let's get an update from Kelly.
Thanks, Bill. We saw Johnny Greaves standing there at the start. Well, his spotter, Kurt Greaves, his brother, told me he was in neutral, wasn't even ready for the green flag, Bill.
And it's in 5th spot already.
On board with Greaves, defending series champion. Very talented racer. Trying to work his way through the field. Huseman continues to lead. Again, Redesetter tries the inside.
This is a good race between these 2 guys. Whoa! You got one guy using the high line. Redesetter down on the bottom. Huseman likes it high. Huseman's getting a little bit better run off that last corner. He's got a little bit more speed than Redesetter. Oh, man, I mean, it looks like they're going to spin out when they get into that corner.
This is a sharp left-hander, followed by a series of bumps, then a very tight right-hand turn where the truck carries all the way to the outside wall. The trucks look like they land really hard, Wally. What's that feel like?
Well, they do land hard, but the ride isn't as bad as you would think. I mean, these things have, you know, 20 inches suspension plus. Here's a good shot. Now, in this shot, the smoothest will be when you're in the air. You can see when it's smooth, he's flying. But, you know, these trucks have so much suspension, they take such a beating.
Huseman's got some trouble with that fiberglass hood.
Now that could be a little bit of a situation on not being able to see where you can go, so he's hoping that will rip off.
He's got Redesetter on his left.
Yeah, I mean,
to the lead.
You can't see going into the corner, so he's going to take a look. He's going back at him on the inside, but he's got that hood in his way. He can't see the corner.
Trying to hug the inside and make the move. Redesetter back in the gas in a hurry. They head for 5.
You know, normally something like that isn't real distracting, but if it jumps up in front of your windshield where you cannot see, it's aggravating.
Redesetter now the leader.
I mean, of all places for something to be flying up right in front of your eyes. Still doing a good job. You can see it'll dump back flat when he gets on the brakes. But as soon as he gets hard on the throttle, that thing comes flying up right in his face.
Scott Douglas trying to catch them from 3rd. And there's Greaves, who was on the pole.
And I think Douglas will catch Huseman. I mean, unless that piece of fiberglass rips off, it's going to be tough. He's going to slow down.
Greaves is only 5 seconds behind the race leader in the 4th spot, Kelly.
Getting back to Rick Huseman, he was a top contender in another core class. Pro Light has yet to win a Pro 4 race of any kind, but he always shines in these Cup races. He always sets fast lap times, does very well in qualifying. Not surprising to see him running up front again.
And there's Redesetter, the guy everybody wants to beat.
I'll tell you though,
beat.
That monster truck is coming though. Greaves is fast right now. See him there, down on the bottom. Takes another spot from Scott Douglas. And Greaves is coming, Bill.
After the slow start, Johnny Greaves on the move toward the front. Chasing Carl Redesetter and Rick Huseman.
Huseman's going to lose this spot probably before the lap's over. He cannot see. Oh, who was that in the back? All crossed up.
Greaves
taking a look.
This is for 2nd.
Got it.
So Johnny Greaves in neutral at the start of the race has made his way to 2nd. An impressive run. And the caution is out, a competition caution here at Antelope Valley, designed to bunch up the field. Under caution here at Antelope Valley, championship off-road racing. The pass, Carl Redesetter to the lead. You're watching championship off-road racing on NBC. Challenge your friends to a battle of NHL trivia and submit your own questions that could become part of the game. Check out the NHL Trivia Face-Off only at NBCSports.com. Red is under the race leader. Green is in the air for the restart, and CORR takes off.
Oh, wow! Big time flip on the front straightaway.
We stay under green.
I believe that's Cheney.
Adrian Cheney. Kelly.
Bill, they call Adrian Cheney the wild man for a reason. He leaves it all out on the track. He actually retired briefly in 2001 after a horrendous crash. He's back for the second year in a row now. Bill.
There goes Greaves for second spot.
And chasing Red Center, and those guys aren't exactly friends.
Not like us, Bill.
Yellow is out, full course caution. Full course caution, there's something new this year.
Well, Cheney's got pieces laying on the track, some fluid on the track. Not that that matters with these trucks too much, but he's not exactly the safest spot.
So Carl Redezetter continues to lead. Greaves chasing him. Redezetter getting ready to get into a lighter truck in the near future in this series, and that's something Johnny's been thinking about.
I'm concerned about that deal. Carl's a good driver, and you know, I know what it's all about, having a light, quick truck, and he's going to find out, and that's probably going to be a handful. So it'll be fun, though.
Carl has run an older, heavier truck. Going to go to a lighter weight truck, hoping to be even more competitive than he has been throughout the years here in championship off-road racing.
Wow.
You still want to do this, Wally?
Absolutely. I've never done that yet, but I know it's in my future.
I was going to say it's coming.
Yeah. I think he just got on the inside when they came for the green and hooked that berm, it looked like.
Tomorrow, he was the horse that captured America's heart. The story of the 2006 Kentucky Derby winner, Barbaro. Don't miss Barbaro, a nation's horse. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific on NBC. Carl Redezetter has the field in tow, waiting to see the green flag for the restart.
It's all about the jump, Bill. Yeah, he's trying to anticipate it.
Green is in there. Yep.
Whoa, Green's got a good start. Take a look on the inside. Ricky Johnson right there.
That's Greaves in the 22, Redezetter in the 17, the white and blue machine.
Rick Johnson, 48, he started in the back. He is up to third spot. Greaves right there.
Redezetter holds him off, gets back in the gas.
You can see it's all about the bite. Redezetter got a little bit better bite off that corner, just enough to pull about a truck length in front of Greaves.
But Greaves catching up in a hurry. Oh, Greaves with a magnificent save, and Johnson couldn't make the pass for second.
I don't know how they don't flip those things. I mean, they fly in the air, land sideways, just all jacked out of shape.
Greaves has a very fast truck. 2 laps to go. Greaves was in neutral at the start of the race, ended up mid-pack. Now has worked his way to second. Greaves trying to chase down Redezetter. Johnson in third.
Just can't get the bite off the corner Redezetter is. I mean, John Greaves is right there. Looks like he gains a little bit getting into the corner, but Redezetter gets a good bite getting off the corner.
And this is where Greaves really seems to make up some ground.
Gonna try the low lines, gonna see if he can get any bite down there.
Might have cut it too close.
He's side by side. Redezetter's got a little bit of an advantage across start-finish line.
That's the Monster Energy cam. White flag, last lap. Greaves again, gonna try the inside.
Oh, did he dive that thing in there?
Greaves
it off.
Takes the lead, working the final lap.
Redezetter does not like that. He goes down to the inside. They're side by side through the corner, beating and banging off each other.
Johnson watching this from third, hoping these two take themselves out.
Exactly. Greaves gets a bite that time off the corner.
The fans on their feet.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? They're both down on the bottom.
Greaves trying to run and hide.
Greaves is gonna do it.
Johnny Greaves standing still at the start, comes back for the win.
It just doesn't get a whole lot more exciting than that. That is just great racing.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun this summer.
I'm having a ball already. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Greaves was on the pole, but when the green flag went in the air, he didn't go anywhere. Then he almost got a little bit too much air, makes the magnificent save, and wins the opening event. You're watching Championship Off-Road Racing on NBC. First event of the 2007 season in the book. Johnny Greaves on the pole, just an amazing race for him. He gets the win. Renner comes home second. Then it's Ricky Johnson, Travis Coyne, Rick Huseman, the top five, and on down the rest of the unofficial finishing order for event number one. What a run for Johnny Greaves.
That was unbelievable. I mean, he had trouble on the start, and I mean, he smoked it right through the field.
Let's go downstairs to Kelly.
Thanks, Bill. I'm here with Ricky Johnson, who started dead last with no qualifying. You finished third. That's got to feel like a victory.
It's close. You know, I got pretty much a driving lesson. I've been out there all day. I drove the truck earlier today. Did weathers quite so well, but you know what? This is for Jason Baldwin, you know, in his memory. And Josh and Jim and Nancy all gave me the shot. And in fact, this is Josh's new bullet. So I'm out there testing it, putting some miles on it, and it's a great piece.
All right, nice job out there. We're going to turn it over here to Carl Renesetter. Man, Carl, what a race you had on your hands, and you knew Johnny was coming, picking his way through the field, and I'm surprised a little bit to see you out here with a smile on your face.
Well, how do you like that? I mean, this old girl, she's like 9 years old. I should have had my new Nissan four-wheel drive out here. A little bit delayed. It'll be out here next time, but I'm proud of this girl here. She runs great. This Lucas Oil team's awesome. And, you know, hopefully people got the Carl Johnny show they were looking for. I did have one thing I have to say, though. I had no radio, so I had no idea what lap we were on. I didn't know what was going on with those yellows. I saw greens going on. I take off, yellow, I don't know. But anyways, you know what? That was a great racing. That's why I'm here, to race like that. I love it.
Great race. We're going to send it back upstairs to Bill and Wally.
Thanks, Kelly. We knew we'd see plenty of excitement, and Ricky Johnson really had a hand in laying out this track.
Yeah, the driver that finished third today laid this track out, and I think did a fabulous job. I mean, it was fun for me driving, and it looked like it created some great racing.
Johnny Greaves with the come-from-behind win. Wild ride for Adrian Cheney, but Greaves takes the checkered flag to victory lane, and here's Kelly again.
He is the man, Johnny Greaves. He's been the man on top of this class for a few years now. And Johnny, if we can get you down here, you stalled at the start. You picked your way through. Of all the wins, and you've had more of them in Pro 4 than anyone in CORR history, where does this one rank?
Oh, that was pretty sweet. I wasn't sure what was going to happen there. You know, they took so much time on the start, and I got to have my revs up to a certain point, and I wasn't sure if he was going to throw it anymore or not, so I was just not paying attention. I did my revs up. Then when I saw it, I dropped the clutch and I snubbed it.
All the talk's been about you and Carl, and you guys have diced it out there before. How long were you waiting to set him up to get by him?
Well, you know, Carl's a crafty guy. He you know, just like me. He knows where to go, and especially when you're being chased. And we were both doing whatever we could to one another to you know, not let the other one get an edge. And it was a good race, you know. Yeah, I saw him going a little high right after the plateau, so I thought if I can park it down there and just slide across him, and we bumped. And but you know, this is that kind of track. We're gonna bump to get by, and you know, we had a good race after that. It was side by side. It was intense, man.
It was a great race. Congratulations to you, Johnny Greaves. We'll send it back upstairs.
Thanks a lot, Kelly. Still ahead, the Pro 2 trucks, and this guy, Nextel Cup winner Robbie Gordon, off-road racing on NBC.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that the research and development done on tires here in Championship Off-Road Racing ultimately benefits the consumer at home. So I've asked Scott Douglas to join me along with a couple of his Kumo tires to explain how the technology developed here at the track ultimately ends up on storeroom shelves. Scott.
Yeah, well, the sidewall construction, the actual compound of the rubber, as well as the tread design is all things that we develop here on CORR in race atmosphere, and the engineers take the tires back, they see what they can use and what they can't use, and ultimately it turns out to be right on the light truck market out the Tumo tires that you can buy off the shelf.
And you get to be a part of it.
Absolutely, it's wonderful.
Thank you, Scott.
Our NBC Sports coverage of championship off-road racing continues. We've seen the Pro 4s in action. The Pro 2s are coming up for a comparison between the two divisions. Here's Marty Snyder.
Well, Bill, these trucks are truly incredible. Let's try to explain the differences between a Pro 4 and a Pro 2 truck. This is a Pro 4, and the main difference is Pro 4 is four-wheel drive. A Pro 2, however, is a two-wheel drive truck. Now, when you build the chassis on a Pro 2, you cannot make any changes to it in a weekend or even during the year. It's built to spec. That's a chassis that always stays the same. Pro 4, however, you can change whatever you want to. It's an open book. You can even change it weekend to weekend for a specific racetrack. Now, horsepower-wise, both are at 800 horsepower. Pretty incredible. These trucks can fly.
Now this guy knows what it's like to be flying through the air, Robbie Gordon. Now, you're one of the most versatile drivers in the world. You've competed against a lot of the guys here in CORR. They're all talking about coming out here and beating you. How tough is the competition out here?
Well, I think anytime you show up and try to race anybody in their respectable series, it makes it competitive. I've raced against, obviously, Ricky Johnson, Jerry Welchel, Rob McCachran for many, many years. In the desert racing, we used to race against Jerry a lot in the Super 1600 back in the Mickey Thompson series. So I know what a fierce competitor these guys are out here, and we got our work cut out for us today.
You already had a little fun today. Tell me about your first Pro 2 experience.
Well, we qualified second. That went pretty good. We had a right front problem in the first Pro 2 race. Went to go get the brake pedal, and there was nothing there. So hopefully we've worked all the bugs out of the truck and got ourselves in a position where we can race for the win. I guess this is the race that really counts at the end of the day.
All right, thanks, Robbie.
Thank you.
As you can tell, Robbie's looking forward to this afternoon's race. And as Kelly found out earlier, the stars of Pro 2 are just as glad he's here as well.
There is going to be those little bragging rights between Robbie and I, but you know what? Yeah, I want to kick his...
The pits are buzzing with talk of Robbie Gordon's return to short course off-road.
I can't wait to race against him because I know I'm going to beat him.
He made a comment that maybe I wasn't that great of a driver 3 years ago. What am I going to do? I'm ready to go toe-to-toe with anybody.
Gordon's return is just the icing on the cake of a lineup that's already the most impressive in off-road history. It includes CORR's first ever Pro 2 champ, motocross star Ricky Johnson.
He's a great guy. He's a great racer. He's very fast. I stepped up my game from last year to this year, and you know, Ricky better watch out.
Living up to his family's name, in just his sophomore year, Todd led the points race for the bulk of the season, ultimately finishing third. Rob McCachran has 2 Pro 4 titles on his resume, but will he have the same success in two-wheel drive?
I got a steep learning curve with the two-wheel drive. I've never driven a Pro 2 in a race before.
If anybody doubts him, they need to leave right now.
He's definitely one of the guys on my list to watch out for.
Jerry Welchel racked up more wins than anyone in Mickey Thompson Series history. But when 2006 was in the books with back-to-back championships, it was Carl Renesetter. He is the man to beat.
Yeah, you know, I mean, these guys are all glad Robbie's here for one reason. They want to beat him. I mean, they don't like a guy coming in their backyard and beating them. So this is going to be cool to watch.
Starting grid, scrolling across the top of your screen. A 10-truck field, 800 horsepower, 15 laps. The Pro 2 qualifier for the Baldwin Cup here in Antelope Valley. Jerry Welchel on the pole, and Robbie Gordon in the second position. The standing start. Fans are ready. Drivers in position. Here we go. Strong start by Gordon. Challenging for the lead.
Wow, Gordon's got it. Welchel got it. He got a great start off the line, but Robbie Gordon got a little bit better bite. He's out front.
You saw Robbie had a tough time earlier today in a preliminary race. Wants to leave his mark on this field this afternoon.
boy, he just made a bunch of guys behind him really bad now because he's out front. That's the in-car of Robbie. See him at work. See him shifting there. You got to shift the gears manually on these trucks.
Gordon out front and trying to pull away. Rachel in second.
Wow, Robbie has got a lead already at the end of the first lap.
Boy, he's highly motivated.
Comes Welchel. Here comes McCaffrey in third in the Red Bull truck. Whoa!
Renazetter runs fourth.
Robbie right up against the wall.
Todd LeDuc in fifth. It's a left-hander here, then over a real rough section of track. Oh, trouble down in turn two. A truck over on its wheels.
Yeah, but he didn't. He started there and he ended there.
Yeah.
We're still under green.
Kelly.
This is Robbie Gordon's first true stadium race since 1989. It looks like he did it yesterday.
Strong run for Gordon here. Still chased by Welcher and McEachran. Robbie has it. Go ahead.
He's just getting after it right now. I mean, he's pulling away slowly. Welchel, McCaffrey trying to do everything they can to try to gain some ground here.
Gordon got a big cheer earlier today when he was introduced. That's the 77 of Vanderhoevel. He's gone around. Robbie Gordon out front. They're in the Pro 2 division.
They're second, third place. These guys have been pretty close since the start of the race. Welchel and McCaffrey there trying to make up some ground on Robbie Gordon, but they're not doing it.
4 of the 15 laps are complete. Robbie Gordon is the race leader at Antelope Valley. Championship Off-Road Racing on NBC is brought to you by Lucas Oil, the world leader in automotive and high-performance lubricants. By Kumho Tires, driven beyond the experience. And by Monster Energy, unleash the beast. There's your new race leader. It's Jerry Welchel. Out in front, trouble for a couple of the front runners, including Robbie Gordon. Full course caution now here at Antelope Valley. 8 laps are complete. Competition caution out. Welchel, the race leader. Robbie Gordon done for the afternoon. Let's go back and take a look.
Looks like he broke the truck in half. The whole rear suspension just collapses on that truck. There he is heading into the pits there. So he is pretty much, he is done for the day. And then McCaffrey, who is...
McCaffrey was battling for the lead, and all of a sudden, he pulled off to the side. Kelly, what are you working on?
Jerry Welchel, who's running out front now, he bought that Pro 2 from a guy named Scott Taylor, who won 6 CORR Pro 2 championships in that truck. It's no wonder he's running out front.
Jump on the radio there, Wally. See if you can get a hold.
Ricky Johnson, he's in third. He didn't have a very good start. Hey, Ricky Johnson, this is Wally up in the NBC booth. You hear me?
Got you, Wally.
Well, you're sitting in third. It looked like you had a pretty rough start there. What happened?
Yeah, I got beat around. Took a little bit for the track to come in. I made a bunch of mistakes. Actually started breathing a little hard, fogged up my shield, but everything's good. Toyota tires are warmed up. We're ready to race.
You got something for these guys up ahead of you?
Sit back and watch. I'm going to give you something to talk about, driver.
All right, man. Good luck. Go get them.
Thanks, man. How'd you like this truck?
Love it. Want one. Let's talk.
Well, they working deals during the caution flag. You know, Ricky came from a Two-wheel background, Robbie Gordon here from the Nextel Cup Series. Another guy that's a champion elsewhere, has a lot of experience in this type of racing.
The off-road stuff got me ready for the three-wide racing. The thing I didn't have in the off-road trucks was a spotter, but the thing that's common is the contact. If you're at Talladega and you're three-wide, everybody's so nervous about getting bumped and touched, and from an off-road racing, I mean, those are love taps. It just comes with the territory.
And the green back in the air. After the competition caution. Welchel leads, then it's Carl Renazetter, and Ricky Johnson runs third.
Renazetter got a good bite off that corner. Had some trouble with that truck earlier. They had some problems with the drive shaft on that, clearance problems, but they think they got that fixed. Down on the bottom, tries a slide job, and comes up behind him.
Ricky Johnson watches from third. There's Renazetter. Running in the second spot, was almost late to the grid. Crew working hard to get that truck ready. Welcher out front.
See how hard Ricky Johnson drives it in the corner here. This is a corner where you can go high or low. There's a lot of grooves right here. Ricky Johnson takes a low line. See if he can get any bite. Not enough.
Renazetter in the white truck. Welchel in the black. The monster truck with the green trim. Troubles continue for the 77. Meanwhile, Renazetter continues to try and rope in the race leader.
Renazetter gets a really good bite off turn one, and that's what this thing's all about here. You've got to get the bite getting off the corner. There, Welchel gets a little bit better bite there. Right up against the wall. Don't forget, these things don't have any mirrors in them.
That's a good point.
And the way it should be. I mean, these guys are just running hard, and they're using what track they need, but there are no mirrors. They have no idea where their competitors are. They do have spotters, but they don't have mirrors.
It's probably a good thing.
I think it's a real good thing, because they get knocked off anyway.
There's the Monster Energy cam showing Jerry Welcher out front. Renazetter trying to close in. Ricky Johnson runs third.
That lap there, Ricky Johnson was faster of the top three. And there you see Ricky Johnson. A little bit quicker than the two front runners. But boy, we got a battle for the lead.
They're side by side just in front of Ricky.
Renazetter down on the bottom. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. Welchel gets in the gas and pulls out front. That's going to let Ricky Johnson catch up a little bit. He's got a good run, and here he comes.
Heading for turn 10.
Boy, that's what Johnson wants to see. He wants to see these guys banging off each other. Oh, Welchel bicycles. That's going to cost him a little bit. I wish these guys would try harder, Bill.
It's amazing. Every lap. Ricky getting a lot of air there. This is where Carl makes up ground in that white truck, right off the here. See the fiberglass body parts laying on the track.
Renazetter drives it in hard.
This is where he pinched him into the wall last lap. Welchel not going to let it happen this time.
Now, Welchel's just getting a little bit better bite right now.
Less than 3 laps to go.
Now here's where you got to be careful. Here's where Welchel bicycled and lost a lot of time. This is where he's having trouble right here. The track starts running up. You can see the ruts, and if you just catch a rut the wrong way, it can really cost you. Wow, nice move there. Renazetter dropped to the bottom. Just looking for any grip.
2 laps to go. Boy, Ricky Johnson really drives it hard down there.
Yeah, Ricky Johnson is running hard. Right now, he's trying to make up some ground. He's just not getting off the corners as good as the other two guys.
Travis Coyne runs in the 4th spot. Then it's Todd LeDuc in 5th. Renazetter, all kinds of problems.
Johnson takes 2nd. And that's all you're looking for. That's all Johnson was looking for. Somebody to make a mistake in front of him.
Now he needs Welcher to make a mistake.
And here's Will Welchel has been struggling the last couple laps. Looks like he's getting through there pretty good, but Johnson is running hard.
Coming to get the white flag this time.
I bet Ricky doesn't drive it in too deep this time going into one.
Final lap in Antelope Valley for the Pro 2 division. Jerry Welchel out front. Ricky Johnson runs second. Carl Redezetter in third.
Tell you what, Ricky Johnson made a lot of ground up in turn 1. He is pulled right up to the back bumper of that truck of Welchel.
In this off-road racing, a lot of stuff happens on the last lap. Johnson chasing from second.
Oh, this is going to be good. Ricky Johnson's got to run. He's going to pull up, make the move, make the charge into the last corner.
This is what the fans come to see. Look for the contact.
Drives it in like we knew he would. Down on the bottom, they're both on the gas. It's all about who gets to grip off the corner.
Welchel looks like he's got it.
That was good stuff right there.
Checkered flag for Jerry Welcher. He's the Pro 2 division winner at Antelope Valley. Ricky Johnson second and Carl Redezetter third. Take you to victory lane when we come back on NBC. Another exciting race, this one in the Pro 2 division. Jerry Welchel comes home the winner, holding off Ricky Johnson. Carl Redezetter comes home third. Disappointing finish for Robbie Gordon. Let's go down to victory lane, and here's Kelly.
What a finish, Ricky. It was like you were a shark out there who smelled blood. But, man, this guy held you off just long enough.
Well, you know, Jerry ran a great run. You know, he's got a lot of experience, and he also has a whole year in this truck. And this truck is the winningest Pro 2 truck out there. It used to be Scott Taylor's. But you know what, though? Toyo Tires, Ironclad, KMC came on board with Baldwin Racing. Jim, Nancy, and Josh gave me a shot, so enjoy it, Jerry. I'm next.
Thanks, Ricky, and we'll turn to Jerry. Man, first it was Robbie, then it was Rob McCachran, then you had to fight off this guy. What a race.
It was the top guys in off-road, man. I'm so proud of my team and so proud of Monster Energy. We did a great job out here. BF Goodrich Tires were hooking up awesome. So I just want to thank everybody. Great competitors, great competition, great track. It was a great, great race.
All right, thanks, Jerry. Bill?
Thank you.
And as for Robbie Gordon, started second, got out front with a strong start, but had the trouble with the truck, had to pull over, and then head back to the paddock. Kelly is with him.
Certainly not the way you wanted to end this race, but man, what was that experience like?
It was a lot of fun. You know, it's just, it's always fun to come back and go off-road racing and know that you can be competitive right out of the box. And Jim Baldwin gave me a good truck. Unfortunately, it bent a shock shaft. I don't know why it happened. Maybe I drove it a little too hard, compressed into the jumps a little too hard, but you know, at the point when it bent, I was already backpedaled a little bit because I knew that we were going to have a caution at some point, so I didn't want to use up the truck 100% before that point.
All right, thanks, Robbie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. Wally, you told me this would be a blast, and it was.
I really think this racing is going to catch on, Bill.
I hate to admit you were right again. Johnny Greaves and Jerry Welchel, the winners in Antelope Valley. We'll see you on Sunday, May 27th from the Fairplex in Pomona on NBC. Coming up next on NBC, all the excitement of the Stanley Cup playoffs continues. Don't miss a minute. For Wally, Kelly, and Marty, I'm Bill Weber. Thanks for having us in for the race. You've been watching Championship Off-Road Racing on NBC.